Hello, everybody. I actually remembered to press the record button today, so hopefully I'll have something to post on Blackboard after we get through today's lecture. So, everybody hearing me?
Yes.
Yes, ma'am.
Yes.
Okay. All right, and I want y'all to know over here, Tuesday, y'all were not crazy about the sound. It was not working today when I came in here, and they had to fiddle with it to get things going. So whenever that happens, just call the IT people, because it appears that there's something wrong with the speakers up there. We're having to use that speaker that's down here. So, yep. So let's see what we got going on. I'm gonna switch over here to the other camera, and we are share screen. We are in the second part of week 8, and hallelujah, spring break is next week, at least for Southside folks anyway. We are going to be doing chapter 11 today. We're going to look at when organizations have to change either their structure or the way that they're doing business or whatever. And some of the things that happen because of change, particularly we have stress and conflict taking place. So we're going to start off with our little video and make sure everybody can hear everything. And let's see, I'm seeing it up there. I hope everybody else is seeing the video. Okay, so that was a nice little intro. Okay, so our little video there gave you some intro materials about how disastrous change can be for your employees, how it puts them on a feeling uncertain about the future. Some of them get so nervous they may even quit your company and so on. It was kind of a little advertisement for an organization that actually helps you approach change, but you really shouldn't have to pay an outside organization to do that. Hopefully you all will develop skills that will kind of alleviate some of these problems when change goes on, so that you really don't have to pay an outside organization to do this for you. So we're going to take a look at the PowerPoints quickly. You'll see there's not that many of them this week. And let's see if I don't have my... Stop share. Let's see. Now, you guys have the PowerPoint here. How about folks in the other classrooms? Do y'all see the PowerPoint or not? No? Okay, let me stop the share and then share the screen. Let's start it. All right, this. Got it now? Yes, no, thumbs up, thumbs down? Okay, good. All right. That's interesting. Okay. Okay, so, oh, gracious, now my screen again. All right, we're going to look at the principles involved in changing an organization, factors to think about, and see how it does tie into stress and conflict, and a little bit about virtuality, using that for organizational change. So what we're talking about is when an existing organization actually modifies either what it's doing or how it's organized, some fundamental process to increase the effectiveness of the organization. And as that little video said, change is inevitable. If you don't face up to change, then your company is really going to suffer in the long run. Almost impossible not to change and remain alive. If you look at the little matrix that's right here, it has stability on one axis and adaptation on the other. You see, if you end up with anything in these lower two boxes, the number 4 and the number 5 there, your company is going to be certain to have a quick death, because that means they are low to adapt, and they are low on stability. But 1, 2, and 3 have different, let's see, we have a high death probability in 1, because it's still got that low adaptation. So it looks like 2 and 3 are the areas you want to be for high survival, and even if 3 gives you high growth probabilities as well. So if you don't adapt, then you're going to have severe consequences on your company. So we're going to take a look at each one of these factors when you are changing an organization. We'll talk about the change agent, what should be changed, the kind of change to make, who gets affected by it, and then evaluating it. So the most important factor typically is this first one, the change agent. That has as much bearing on the success of the change as to any of these other types. The change agent is the individual or individuals, it could be either inside or outside the organization, who are actually going to implement the change. And that person does, or persons do require skills to solve all these change-related problems, like the stress and the conflict and the uncertainty and so on. In the second step, determining what should be changed, we need to consider several things: people, social, and technological factors. We need to look at the overall attitudes that people will have. What are their leadership skills and communication skills? What are your organizational policies and procedures? And then what equipment or processes can be used to actually help in performing the job? Lots of technology often has to change as well. So again, the impact on the effectiveness of the change will depend on those 3 factors: people, social, and the kind of change that needs to be made, again, will be around those 3 things: technological, structural, and people. You may need to modify the level of technology used. You need to change your actual organization structure as far as who reports to whom, maybe create new departments and so on. And then your organizational development as far as people go. You're going to have to train these people, make sure they're tied into what the change is all about. This managerial grid is one of the old, most famous little grids you'll see in a management class, where we look at a manager's concern for people and their concern for production. Now, years ago, I'd say decades ago, you would find that a lot of managers fell into the category where they had very little concern for people and a high concern for production. They didn't really care about people, what they thought, what they felt, were they getting developed, were they getting trained, any of that sort of thing. They were more concerned about their productivity. And that's the 9-1 management. Of course, 1-1 management doesn't care about the people or the productivity, and that's really a person that probably should not even be in management at all in that case. 1-9 has a low concern for production and a high concern for people. That usually doesn't work out too well either, because sometimes the needs of people, just having a friendly atmosphere and so on, will take precedence on actually getting any work done. You might think the 5-5 would be the appropriate level, balancing out the concern for people and the concern for production, but really the 9-9 is a high concern for both. And we're tending towards more that 9-9 level of management now, where the manager has a high concern for people and for production. Organizational development, dealing with your people and so on, is very time consuming, sometimes difficult to evaluate, sometimes the objectives are very vague, I should say. They're just, you can't really understand what you're trying to do. The costs are difficult to measure, and programs can be expensive to influence, so there are some downsides to it, but usually the payoff outweighs the weaknesses. Now, employees and people in general just have a resistance to change in most cases. They fear that they're losing something, their prestige is getting reduced, their relationships may be disturbed, or they may personally fail because they don't understand what's going on. So as managers, you should try to avoid surprises and give them a genuine understanding of what the change is going to be like. Set the stage for the change. Don't just dump it on them. And then evaluate it. Was it successful? Does it need to be modified? Is further change necessary? Change is something that can cause people to have a lot of stress. Okay, it can affect them as far as their health goes. It can affect them as far as their relationships go. You can see here that bodily strain, individual experiences as a result of coping with some environmental factor can affect the wear and tear on the body. It can affect them subconsciously because they have new demands. This textbook cites studies that say that it costs companies $150 billion a year. Stress does. Okay. Anybody in here ever feel like you're stressed?
Always.
I'm sure you do. I've had a really bad week myself, so I'm going to raise both hands. I've had a tough one. So, you know, that's why I guess I'm looking so forward to spring break, as I need to breathe some fresh air and clear my head a little bit, because it is taking a wear and tear on my body and my mind, definitely. Now, you can see some level of stress can actually be good for you, though. Stress can actually, in moderate levels, make you work a little harder, perform a little better. But when it reaches a peak level, then you start losing on the productivity there. I'm going to show you all a little video of some workers that are they're dealing with stress in some very different ways. So let me get to the right video here and to minimize that. Here.
This video just came on. Can you hear me? Can't hear me.
Are you guys trying to ask me a question?
Yes.
What was that?
The video just came on like 5 minutes ago.
The video that I showed at the beginning?
No, like the whole system just came on 5 minutes ago. I've been here
Oh, good grief.
the longest.
Well, let's keep going, and you guys can catch up on the recording there.
All right.
Or I can go back and play the first video for you.
No, I'll just look at it online.
All right. let me pause that and share it. Okay, hopefully you guys can see this video. Again, let me just set the stage. This is just some examples of people dealing with stress. Oh, you all don't have it. All right. Playing. So you can see what's going on.
Wow.
Well, I hope, I seriously hope none of y'all. You want to see some more?
Yes.
There's some hilarious. I spent about an hour before class seeing. It was just so. Let's see. Let's try this. Let me share the screen for these guys. Oh, here's a whole bunch of them on here. I just really, let's see. I think we might have seen that. You read that. Okay. All right, I guess that's enough of those, but people do lose it sometimes in the office, and I know that I have felt like, I don't think I've ever actually done anything like that, but I might have gone home and threw a few tantrums after I got out of work, but hopefully you will find a few recommendations on how to reduce your stress, even if you're, I mean, let's face it, we're all going to have stress, especially when there is change taking place in your organization. So you can be assured that you'll get to that point, but hopefully you won't act on it. So let me see if I can finish up these PowerPoints. Then we can start our, let me see the PowerPoint. I don't think it's still there, so I gotta open them up. Let's see, we're down here. You guys have that. Okay, so these are some physiological things that can happen to you when you're under stress at work. High blood pressure, you might have your heart start pounding. Gastrointestinal disorders, you know what that means? That means you gotta go to the bathroom fast, or you're gonna throw up, or something like that. So, constant fatigue is a sign of stress. Low energy, moodiness. I know none of y'all ever get moody, right? Okay. Increased aggression. I think that's what we saw in the video, was a whole lot of aggression. So, anybody recognize any of those symptoms? You think maybe your stress is starting to actually play a part with your health? I hope not. Here are some other signs. Look at this. Go. Oops. Have you found yourself making excessive use of alcohol? Okay, now I have a group of friends that I stay in contact with on Facebook quite easily, and I did call yesterday. One of them said, I'm going home and hitting the apple pie moonshine that she had bought somewhere. So things have been really stressful. Temper outbursts, again, that's what we saw on the screen. Compulsive eating. You know, I do that. If I'm stressed, I'll eat a lot. High levels of anxiety or chronic worrying. So if you see any of those symptoms there, you may be suffering from stress. What can you do about it? As far as a manager goes, you want to create a supportive climate for your workers. You can even offer them stress management courses. I know at some of the campuses during exam week, they'll offer massage, 5-minute massages, 15-minute massages, and so on, and that's supposed to help you control your stress a little bit. Make jobs interesting. Okay, so not just routine things that have to be done because the boss says so. Make them interesting. And design and operate career counseling services. Take advantage of them. Many places have those available for free as part of your benefits. So make sure you do take advantage of those. Now, conflict is a struggle from people having opposing needs or feelings. They can actually result in positive outcome for an organization. If two people are in conflict, they can work together rather than against each other, actually for the benefit of the organization. When changes are made that threaten employees or create some kind of conflicting view between the manager and the employee, that's when you see a lot of conflict and stress take place. Here's some ways to handle conflict: resolving, forcing, avoiding, and compromising. Compromising is one that people turn to a lot, but remember, when you compromise, neither party gets everything they want. They're both having to give up something. Avoiding conflict is just completely ignoring it. Maybe you've known someone that when they get into a conflict, they just go, well, I'm just not dealing with this, and they get up and walk out. Okay, that happens a lot. Forcing means managers have to come in and actually say, no more conflict. Obviously, what you really want to do is to work out your differences by resolving any type of conflict. Okay, we are moving more and more towards virtual organizations where people don't even actually see each other face to face anymore. That's an organization that has extended beyond the typical boundaries and structure of traditional organization. Parties are connected through email and internet and video conferencing and so on. That's virtuality. And we see more and more that growing. We've gone from people who just occasionally telecommute, maybe one day a week or something, all the way up to full mobility, where some of them don't go in the office at all. They work from home or wherever they are. I think that sounds wonderful, but then again, I think you miss out on a lot of the team building skills with virtual offices. So with virtual offices, it is more difficult to create desired cultures, more difficult to integrate your employees into the organizational culture, more difficult to supervise employees and communicate with them. And I think you all are probably a prime case of where you see some good and bad with virtual offices. If you think about the virtual classroom, it's great that we can expand it so that we have more sites involved. That means more classes made. But we get complaints from students who are not in the seated portion of the class. They want to have face-to-face contact with the instructor. We have others that would just soon deal with a computer and never see an instructor. So it really is, it's difficult from an instructor's viewpoint too to communicate with you all, just even with the technology involved. I know it probably looks easy to you all, that lady up there would just press the right buttons. We wouldn't waste so many minutes doing stuff, but I can guarantee you that none of this is laid out the same way in any of the campuses, and it makes me have a headache just about every time I have to deal with it. So I'm glad for my students, wherever they are, in whatever location they're in, but it does make it difficult to communicate. It does. Okie dokie. Don't forget that I did have that one assignment up there for you. For this week, I think it's due like the 4th or something, or Sunday. Don't make a big deal out of it. I've had a couple of questions about it from people that said, I've never been a manager. You know, just pretend you're the manager and answer those questions. Don't. And if you want to get onto YouTube and watch some managers dealing with some employees with performance appraisals, you'll get some really good tips from that too. So, anybody have any questions about anything?
No, ma'am.
Well, I wish you all a very stress-free spring break.
Have a good one.
I'm going to try to go technology-free for a few days. Not look at the emails or the Facebook or anything, because I think my brain needs a break. So otherwise, I'm going to stop the recording and get this one placed on Blackboard, and you all hopefully will have some sunny days coming up here in spring break. No class next week for Southside at all. Yep. Southside people, no classes at all next